Welcome back to this little series of Sonic 3 Wave 1 figures as we take a look at the main character now, Sonic the Hedgehog himself. The back of the card says, Sonic is on a roll, saved the world twice, but who's counting? And has two besties for his team, but will they be enough to handle a devastating new threat? I kind of like how the description is actually relevant to the movie itself and not just, a generic Sonic is this thing. And, oh, look at this. 22 points of articulation. That's more than even Tails, and Tails have those tails to articulate. So yeah, let's get this guy out of the box and see how this one is. Wow. This is the Ultimate Sonic figure. Like, I know they released an Ultimate Sonic figure that I didn't particularly like, mostly because they put that matte finish on it that completely screwed the figure up and forced me to return it to the store as defective. But this has superior articulation to the Ultimate Sonic figure, and it stands better and is kind of better in every way on a technical level. If this was like regular Universe Sonic instead of movie Sonic specifically, this would seriously be the greatest Sonic figure ever made. It's easily the greatest movie Sonic figure ever made, which is a pretty damn good figure because I like movie Sonic. But, wow. Okay, so let us get in. He has the same gimmick that Tails does with the eyes that can kind of create the illusion of following you as you turn his head. And there is a little bit of extra detailing. You can see like they put some... These are actually translucent blue spines embedded into his regular plastic, which I'm assuming is supposed to be some kind of light piping thing, like they would catch some light. And that's kind of cool. If you get the light behind this figure in just the right way, you might get a decent glowing effect, like when he uses powers. Although they are put on in just such a way that when you have them on the display, you don't have to look at them if you don't want to. Like, from the front, you don't really see them too much. Not bad. Nice compromise. Head is ball jointed, so it can get some expressive tilt. It can turn. And I should point out, I'm feeling this head. It's made out of a significantly harder plastic. This is like that when I'm always talking about how you have a torso of a figure that I can't dismantle because it won't soften when you heat it up in water. It's this kind of plastic, but it's light. And it's hollow, meaning the figure's not top heavy. We got a Sonic figure who's in no way top heavy because they made his head lighter and hollow, which is awesome. On the back, you can see he has that movie distinction of having 3 spines on his back instead of 2, and his tail. And he has a stomach, like he has a waist joint. I haven't seen a Sonic figure with a waist joint in like a regular line since back in the Jazzwares days. I think Tommy's Ultimate Classic Sonic figure had a joint similar to this, but, it's the first time we see one for a regular retail figure and not something specifically made for the expensive collector market. His arms have those butterfly joints in addition to universal shoulders, a bicep swivel, an elbow that... Look at how deep that elbow goes for just one joint. That is impressive as hell. And his hands are sculpted in such a way that they look good as fists. Although when you start to open up those knuckles, it actually kind of looks weird as an open hand. But I suppose if you put it into holding thing mode, like if you had a power ring or something to hold on to, then that would actually look pretty decent. But yeah, like dang, The thing is, there are so many joints here, it's a little bit hard for me to work everything. Like, you actually have to get that butterfly swivel lined up with the actual joint in the shoulder to get everything lined up. So it can be a little bit awkward to mess around with, but once you get in a pose you like, dang, that looks good. Man, so much posability. And, oh good, okay, check this out. Check out those hips. Look at that. The secret? Ball joints. This is a ball jointed hip. I've never seen a Sonic figure pull off ball jointed hips. But look, he can sit. They go all the way forward 90 degrees. And they do go backwards. Not quite as good as they go forwards, but they go backwards. So this is actually one of the best Sonic figures for getting into a running pose. Like, oh wow, that looks so good. Like, where was this engineering in forever? Oh my god. I kind of want to see this done to regular Sonic, and it kind of pisses me off because it means, like, I have so many figures in their regular 4-inch line. Like, if they start to do this, then I'm going to have to rebuy basically everything, and that's going to piss me off. But, oh my god, this is so amazing. Like, and he has a thigh swivel, too. Like, look, you can actually get this Sonic figure to sit, like, cross-leg Indian style. Like, oh, wow. And look, the copyright information on actually looks like something he stepped on. It's kind of hilarious. And of course, his feet are no slouches either. They have that same ball joint thing in there, and they have the thing. So this is probably one of the most dynamic posable Sonic figures that's ever been made. And I think it might be the most that ever can be made. Like, I don't think you can improve this posability and articulation. Like, this is pretty much the perfect example. Like, oh my god, this is so good. This is so good. I'm gushing. I cannot even. Can he do 3-point landing? Hold on. Dude, he can pull off a 3-point landing. I think this is the only time I've ever seen a Sonic figure capable of doing this. That's amazing. There isn't a single thing about this that I do not love. Yeah, like, in terms of raw posability and articulation, this is seriously the best Sonic figure we've ever had. And, you know, like, if you don't like movie Sonic, then, okay, you don't like movie Sonic. But if you do like movie Sonic, then this is probably going to be one of the greatest Sonic figures that you will ever own. Like, a part of me really would like to see proper Universe Sonic given this level of engineering. But, you know, like, the thing is, I weep for my storage space. But still, this is amazing. I cannot believe how awesome this actually is. Like, the unfortunate thing is that for now at least, these characters are only available in Walmarts. Hopefully they'll be showing up in other retailers soon. But for now, Walmart is where all these figures came from, which is why Zach had to get them for me. But let's get one quick group shot in before we leave. When the figures are all put together, they kind of fall into the same trap that the previous movies figures had, in that Dr. Robotnik just does not appear tall enough next to Sonic and Tails and stuff. But he is a little bit taller. But that's always been the problem with the Sonic the Hedgehog line. Like, it is a franchise where the main hero is just so much shorter than the villain that you can't make them in the same action figure scale for retail release and have them look right next to each other. So, at the very least, this means you don't have to throw away your movie 2 figures, because you have a figure that's appropriately tall next to the movie 2 figures now. So you have that at least. But yeah, like if you think, oh, I'm only going to get Robotnik and I don't need to get Sonic and Tails or anyone else again because I already have those figures, well, true, if all you care about is scale, that's fine, but man, you will be missing out on so much awesome engineering. Like, these are just absolutely fantastic toys by any metric. Hopefully, I'll get the proper Shadow figures soon, but until then, we're just going to have to settle for this one. So stay tuned for one more video on the Sonic 3 wave.